ish.
Yeah, because the
You've
first
done-
maybe 10 episodes, I think we were doing it like bi-monthly.
Oh yeah, I remember those days, the olden days.
Yeah, and then we thought this is quite nice. People seem to like this. Let's do it every week instead.
People actually listen to us. I don't know what the fuck's going on, man.
What the hell's wrong with these people?
197 of the bar open, which would be, I don't know, the French way, maybe the Gregorian translation, by the way, which is more relevant than you think, because there are exactly 97 leap years within the 400-year cycle of the Gregorian calendar. But you didn't know that?
God, I didn't know that. No, you've just.
I like starting with the most relevant fact.
Yeah,
the one that really makes you think. But yeah, you know, another wonderful week in media. The Wolverine game, I don't know if you've been seeing this, getting ripped to shreds online. It's kind of fun.
Ironically enough, ripped to shreds. Yes.
Oh yes, it's a modern masterpiece. At least that's what seems to be the assumption right now. It feels like people are just like losing their patience on a lot of the things that it features, if we put it that way. To the point that the social director or something warned the devs to stay away from social media. You know that?
The social director.
Something like that. I don't know what his role was, but
what was he basically saying? It's going to be hazardous for your health if you go on social media. So just
hazardous for your mental health. You can't be going online because you'll see what people are saying about our work, which is it's probably not a great position to be in. You got the Ahsoka season 2 trailer is out, and the audience warned Dave Filoni to stay away from social media. So you know, it's probably a positive move.
I would warn Dave Filoni to stay away from Star Wars. That'd probably be the better thing.
We keep warning him yearly. It doesn't seem to be doing much. And then, of course, Lanterns. I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but
we will talk about Lanterns for sure.
Oh boy, just you know what? Not a slow week this time. Sometimes it's a wacky roll of the dice, and you never know what's going to happen. But I don't know. 97. There was that many minutes in that Alec Baldwin, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers movie where they had the hijacked Boeing 767. What was that called? That was a movie. That's a relevant number. Oh, Holy Grail. It's got a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. So think about that. That's underrated.
This is cool. Are we officially into your facts segment now? Are you just making this up as you go along?
We can't be doing that. We got to move into what movies even came out in the wonderful year of 1997. And I'll say, there's no way I'm doing this in one breath. Good God, man. Do you remember what happened in 97? Huh?
What did we get in 97?
Movies, to say the least.
Tell us.
Well, you know what? While I'm listening, just keep an eye, keep an ear, and think what your favorite is. We'll start with, of course, Titanic. Good God. And the rest being Men in Black, Jurassic Park 2, Liar Liar, Air Force One, As Good as It Gets, My Best Friend's Wedding, Tomorrow Never Dies, Hercules, George of the Jungle, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, The Sweet Hereafter, Amistad, The Wings of the Dove, The Boxer, The Rainmaker, The Apostle, Boogie Nights, Jackie Brown, Lost Highway, Copland, Chasing Amy, Hard Eight, Nil by Mouth, Princess Mononoke, Perfect Blue, Children of Heaven, Funny Games, The Fifth Element, Gattaca, Contact, Starship Troopers, The Game, Cube, Devil's Advocate, Breakdown, The Edge, Donnie Brasco, Face Off, Con Air, Absolute Power, Austin Powers, The Full Monty, Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion, one of the favorites, I think. Mouse Hunt, Eve's Bayou, Soul Food, Gridlocked, Sprung, Anaconda, Dante's Peak, Volcano, The Jackal, Spawn, Speed 2, Batman and Robin, Alien Resurrection, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Scream 2, Home Alone 3. There was a special edition of A New Hope released. I'm sure everybody loves that. Annihilation, Flubber, The Postman, Wild Things, and of course, Event Horizon.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
So, what would you say is your favorite?
I mean, honestly, I've got such a soft spot for Fifth Element. I think that's a fantastically fun movie, incredibly visually inventive. I love the premise behind it. As a loyalist, though, I'm going to have to go with Event Horizon.
A loyalist?
Yeah. It's like, you got to stick through the rough and the smooth, okay? And Event Horizon is fantastic.
It's such a crazy... Like I feel like chat is just flowing with all different kinds of choices. I'm feeling inclined toward
multipass here in chat as well.
Multipass. I'm inclined toward Starship Troopers myself, but I might go with Austin Powers if I'm being just honest about my favorite. Like I fucking adore that movie. But of course, Batman and Robin is the winner. It's not really competition. I was just treating that as though I took that out for a second before.
I think in honor of Sam Neill, having recently passed away, I think we owe it to everyone to pick Event Horizon as the best one.
Very well. Event Horizon it is.
And I think he said, like, he said numerous times over the years that's one of the favorite movies that he's ever worked on.
Well, everyone should see it. It's a fucking crazy movie in the best of ways. Definitely Paul W.S. Anderson's best as well.
Look at this asshole here. He was born in 97. God damn it, stop being so young!
Yeah, we hate youngins.
You march in here young and expect us to respect you?
Insulting.
No, you have to earn that.
Now, for a few actual facts. You know, as well as many do, I assume, that the Titanic was actually expected to be a huge flop. It was going to sink in the box office. Did you know that? You knew that. Yes, I assume. But it soared like Superman to the top of the ocean or something. Became the first film to cross 1 billion.
It sailed because it looked up at shiny sky instead of looking down into the depths like a rock.
It nearly fucked that up, but it looked up, so we're all good. It permanently shifted Hollywood's focus toward massive international-facing event movies. And it went on to tie All About Eve with 14 Oscar nominations and then tying with Ben-Hur for 11 wins, a record that has not yet been broken. 97.
All kinds of insane, by the way.
It is. It's fucking crazy. You have to be there. So
I mean, honestly, yeah. I will still stand by this. I genuinely, unironically love Titanic.
I don't love it. I like it.
As a love story, it's trite nonsense, but like as a disaster movie, I think it's unbeatable. I think
the
it's
effects
up there
are fantastic.
Like, it's up there with like the Towering Inferno as like one of the greatest disaster movies ever made, in my opinion.
97 saw the launch of career-defining, boundary-pushing film Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights and David Lynch's Lost Highway. But then again, you know, Event Horizon probably did a good number for Paul W.S. Anderson, right? Not necessarily.
Well, it flopped at the box office, but it did like find its audience in home media.
Yeah.
I think really it was Mortal Kombat that made him, or made a name for him as a director in Hollywood.
That makes sense.
Likely a result of the surgery.
You suffered catastrophic damage to a number of primary organs at the hand of that carnifex. While in that state, you underwent radical surgery. Your body was ripped open from head to foot. If some error was made and remains undetected, it could cost you your life.
That mind.
Yeah.
Money.
I think the moment where I realized we were not dealing with the James Cameron we once knew was when he talked about how he used to fetishize guns in his movies and like how he's moved beyond that now because it was such an element of toxic masculinity back in the 80s and 90s, and I just thought, oh, James.
He actually was... He was quoted as saying that he sees testosterone as a poison that must be purged from the body.
Well, he certainly did that with his Avatar movie, so well done.
He did.
Job achieved.
Good Lord. Anyway, well, it's good to have you guys on board here. And we live in momentous times because Lanterns has been released into the world, and we got the first episode a few days ago, and we've all had a good time clowning on it. I guess particularly Gary, being a comics aficionado and quite knowledgeable about Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart and stuff, like, what was your take on this interpretation of Green Lantern?
Well,
or just Lantern?
Lanterns. To be fair, not the biggest Green Lantern fan. I've read a lot. It was obligatory at the store. I like Hal Jordan. My favorite is Guy Gardner. So, you know, but basically what they have done is, you said it in your title. It is a superhero show made by people who aren't interested in superheroes for people who don't like superheroes. And it is it's interesting that it was made in 2006, or it takes place in 2016, because it feels like it really belongs there for the bulk of it. It is more deconstruction, subversion. They're not putting on the costumes. They clearly have disdain for the costumes, and I know people are going to say this is a plot point, but they put out a trailer of stuff that's coming out in the future. I don't see any costumes on anybody. My guess would be they put the costume on the character in the last episode in the last 10 minutes. Could be wrong. I could be wrong about all of this. But the fact that they, I don't know, put a bullet in Hal Jordan's head, the most popular Green Lantern, at the end, however it turns out, that was done. Hal Jordan, so far, based on what we've seen, is dead. There's a lot of people saying, and they're right. They introduced 14 species in the DC. Well, they didn't. They talked about them that could possibly shapeshift, and that could not be Hal. The fact that his ring is missing is not evidence, because the ring would take off if he died, and choose another a replacement. But you know, I have my biases. You know, my biases, whatever the fuck they are, because I watched Damon Lindelof's Watchmen, and that was enough for me to know where this guy comes from. And you can in the script, some of his personal beliefs like crept in, and you saw him. You talked about it in your video, both of you guys. Like, he had a hard time grappling with, I need to make this guy a hero, but I don't like him, and I don't want the audience to like him right now. And that's, and they even acknowledged that. Damon Lindelof came out and acknowledged it and said, you know, hey, everybody's been waiting for Hal Jordan to come into the DCU, and we're gonna kill him and make him an idiot. That's shocking, isn't it? You know, we're so old. Like, this is, I'm tired of this. I'm so fucking tired of this. You know what would have been subverting expectations? Making Hal Jordan a hero, and then maybe having a heroic death, if you need to do that for shock value.
The issue with him is he can't. He did an interview where he said, very similar to Nolan actually, that the problem is that nowadays you can't pitch like anything hopeful or good, because the audience will immediately reject it, because they walk outside and everything's getting worse. So it seems that Hollywood is now projecting their own attitude into stories, and so because they can't see anything except horror all the time, they have to put it into their work. They can't even present like escapism at this point, because they think it's like important that you need to be told everything. Also, to the suit, the actor that plays Hal said that was added in at the last minute because they weren't sure if they wanted to add the suit at all. So there's probably one scene.
I mean, because what I've seen in like the trailers and stuff, like he's going to be wearing it at some point, probably in flashbacks or whatever. Like, so you will get to see it, but it's probably going to be very limited. And I don't know, man. Like, not being an expert in the comics, like my limited understanding is that the Lanterns are like intergalactic space cops. They are designed to like track down and neutralize all kinds of alien threats. They're like galactic level threats that they deal with. The planet killers, basically. And so what you've got here instead is like, let's just make a police procedural in small town rural America with two guys who occasionally might use the ring powers, but like probably won't for the most part to save money. I mean, it's a choice for sure, but if you're going to go down that like true detective route, you're going to have very well developed characters, very intricate plotting, very clever dialogue, all of these things. And this show, based on that first episode, has none of those things. Literally, it's the most basic, bitch, simple storyline imaginable. It's like literally a mass shooting occurs and they want to question the suspect because they suspect he's an alien. That's it. Right. That's literally it. And it takes an hour to get through that because the plot just keeps putting roadblocks in their way just to spin it out. It's dumb as fuck, and it's not interesting, and none of the characters, apart from Hal Jordan, who the show kind of wants you to hate, ends up being the most likable character by far, mostly because of Kyle Chandler doing a really good job acting. Because whoever's playing Jon Stewart, like, is it Aaron Pierre?
Aaron Pierce. Or Pierre, yeah.
Pierre, yeah. Fucking block of wood right there. Like, yeah. He's got all the likability of Brie Larson's toes.
Oof.
I mean, blue eyes don't lock you in, Drinker.
There's just nothing there to like. You've got the small town sheriff who's a girl boss who she ain't impressed by these lanterns and these guys who can magic up fucking anything with their imagination. She knows what she's about and she's gonna lay down the law, god damn it. Yeah, she's 4'2" and ugly as fuck and doesn't like actually have a handle on anything that's going on, but you know, that's her job. in this show, and she'll be proven right, I'm sure. Like, because they can't let her not be.
And
what she's
go on.
she's already been proven wrong because the guy was an alien. And it's like, if you have an expert in aliens that has saved the world,
Yes.
let him question the subject. There's no reason not to allow him into the room because you can watch him, you can pull him out, you could be in the room next to him if you really needed to or anything like that. And all the time, the issue they've got is Hal constantly throughout the entire episode does good things. He literally saves an entire town from blowing up, and yet everyone still treats him like he's wrong and an idiot all the time. And they're contradicting their own story right in front of you. And it's so bizarre that nobody respects this guy, which is save the world. Why? Oh, well, I met him and I immediately knew he didn't care about anybody.
I mean,
how? What is the context of that?
I mean, I will say, yeah, she was good in Train Spotting. Look up the scene if you don't know what I'm talking about.
I remember.
I remember. I bet you and
Calling her
McGregor
ugly,
remembers
how
as
could
well.
you? But
Yeah, well, you know, time's a fucking cruel mistress. What can I say, Mauler? But yeah, like, the thing I don't understand, like, if this is, say, like a world-threatening event, like a possible alien incursion or whatever, and that's what Hal suspects is going on, why the fuck doesn't he just, like, magic up a fucking bulldozer and smash his way into the jail to, like, interrogate this guy? Why does he have to work within the confines of, like, the local fucking podunk sheriff who seems to act like she runs the show? Like, surely he's got jurisdiction over basically anything if he really wants to. I don't know why the show wastes so much time on something that doesn't need to happen.
That was the weird thing, though, because he said, yeah, I have jurisdiction anytime aliens are involved. So he's here to tell you that aliens are involved, and you won't let him investigate. Presumably because it might take your power away, is the way it came across. It's like, well, if you actually can talk to him and diagnose if this is an alien, I will suddenly not be useful in this investigation at all. It seemed more like she came across as power-hungry, and this is one of the issues, because they don't understand how people work. Like, they don't realize what they're actually writing, and they think they're writing someone strong, when actually they come across as incredibly sort of selfish in that way.
Well, I know for sure, like, if the genders were reversed here, if it was a male sheriff and a female, like, superpowered police investigator that handles intergalactic threats, it would not play out this way at all.
We've seen that in Captain Marvel. She was treated Fury like a moron.
She would just obliterate him and just, like, storm on through and get what she wants, but, like, that's not how writing works, I guess, in Hollywood. Did you guys like the really clever allegory for, like, American immigration policy?
It was too subtle. I didn't pick it up.
When middle-aged white guy says, I want to protect this place from people who weren't born here. I don't know about you guys, like, because it's real subtle, but, like, if you really think about it, you can pick up on what the
for one, when he said that, I liked him, but I also picked it up when middle-aged middle America guys started, you know, whinging on about colonialism, and I'm like, what? There's so many other words you would use other than colonial. Like, what are they gonna do? The aliens are going to come down and make our infrastructure better? I mean, is that so bad?
Well, hey, have you seen that World's End? Oh, no, The World's End. That's what they do in that movie. And they mulch us, though, so there's that.
Oh, well, there's that.
The aliens are going to introduce, like, engineering and science and reasoning and democracy. Like, no, please don't.
Well, that was the crazy thing, though. So he's surrounded on this ranch by people with just, like, basic guns. And they're like, yeah, we're making a bit of defense. It's like, this seems like a bit more than a bit. Against aliens that can travel across space. And you have a few M16s on a farm. And like, this seems overkill for an alien invasion. It was just kind of, everything's out of... It's clearly the writer's own beliefs that he doesn't think it's allowed. But it completely doesn't fit in the context at all. And you think he'd at least adapt it.
No, Disbrew, you're missing the point here. It's about the vibe, okay? He wants to like, set up the vibe of these guys. Like, okay, a bunch of white guys who live on a ranch, they've all got guns, and they're all preparing for, like, contingencies of invasion and stuff. Okay, these guys are bad people. They are badmen, and you need to understand that immediately. In the minds of a Southern Californian liberal writer, they are badmen. And you must understand that immediately.
Isn't that what Hal did, though? Like, he cloned himself specifically as an early warning system because he thought the Earth might get invaded?
Yeah.
Yep.
But why listen
Yeah.
to him?
He's
And-
a
and-
Okay,
white
but
guy,
the-
like-
you got all these complaints, but Drinker, you must have loved the sex scene, that raunchy sex scene.
I think watching him bang like a 60-year-old woman, like I did throw up in my mouth a little bit, and then when you find out she's a grandmother, God almighty.
Yeah.
You know
his
what
wife.
because I use this as a great example of subtext, right? Mahler, you understand the concept of subtext. It's great. Like people can say one thing, but they can mean many other things. Like
Well, I thought it was like
there's
the
many-
label on a submarine or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but I
I
think
thought you were
as a-
texting
as
from
a-
a submarine.
as a man who enjoys writing things, you understand that like what a character says can mean one thing, but what they don't say can mean many more things. And you know, when they're leaving this little barbecue with evil white redneck man, and he says to Jon Stewart, like, "Yeah, it's sure nice to eat off another man's grill." Like, yeah, okay. As the audience, we understand what he means. He knows what's been going on there, and that clues us into a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that you could just leave it there. Just leave it there. It's
Yeah,
fine.
they're talking about food specifically, I think. They're talking specifically just about
Sure.
food, and that's it.
Checking the sentence.
Just
And then-
food.
And then you've got Hal Jordan who jumps
Yeah.
in and says like, "Wait, what did he mean by that?" It's like,
My
well,
house.
I fucked his wife, and it's
Yeah.
like, and he knows. Yeah, I think he knows. It's like really strongly implied that he knows that based on what he just said to me. Ah, okay. It's like all they need to do then is lean towards the screen and be like, "Now, you people at home who are on your phones, this is an important plot point, so you need to pay attention to this."
Look up at the
They might
screen
as
for a
well.
moment.
Might as well. That's what it's based on, man.
My favorite part, well, one of many, really. Actually, my favorite part's the interrogation. We'll get to that later. Was when Sheriff Girlboss was warning the space policeman who has been in, who just stopped a space civil war and has been in cosmic battles, warns off Hal Jordan that you don't want to mess with this Nebraska rancher. He's bad news. You have enough time to walk away. It's like I could put him in a bubble and send him to space with my willpower. Why am I worried about this guy? So I mean, obviously he's an alien. Like I think the whole town are aliens. That's the only way I can justify some of the writing. But obviously he's an alien.
Are
And
we sure whether or not the writers are aliens? Have we figured this out yet?
Damon
It-
Lindelof?
Ask him a
Maybe.
Harry Potter question and you'll find out.
Damon. Hey,
Honestly,
he wore,
like when you,
he wore a Green Lantern shirt at Comic-Con once. Drinker. So he is qualified. I saw that
Wow.
in an Emergency Awesome video. They're like, he's a big Green Lantern fan. He wore a shirt at Comic-Con back in
Wow.
2007.
he's definitely
Shit,
not
give
a
him a show.
tourist. As you mentioned, Gary, before, like I have not forgotten Watchmen. Well, most other people probably have, but I remember it, and I remember what a fucking calamity that show was. What a joke it was to the source material. And it was Damon Lindelof and his insane race baiting fucking fetish for politics. That was entirely driven by him. After that, I honestly thought he would never work in Hollywood again. That show was such a disaster. They never did a season 2. It was done after that. And somehow he returned, just like Palpatine.
He hasn't done much. And let's keep in mind that he got fired by Kathleen Kennedy.
It's true.
So, yeah.
God, you have to be done for chicken molesting to be fired by Kathleen Kennedy. Jesus.
It's like bottom
he's
of the barrel
a
right there.
bad reboot disciple. He worked on Lost, and what Bad Reboot and Jar Jar and Kurtzman and Lindelof are all really good at is repurposing other stuff and making it worse. That's all they do. So just the entire concept that we're doing a Green Lantern show, not calling it Green Lantern, and trying to make it True Detective. Sorry, I'm repeating from what I said in my video, but True Detective can't even be True Detective anymore. Like they have 3
Well, you
other
didn't think-
seasons,
You
that
didn't think
suck.
You didn't think Night Country was the best thing ever made?
Oh, that was rough. That was
Couldn't
rough.
make it through that season.
I should have done a video on. I watched the damn
I
thing,
think-
and I didn't do a video. I just was disgusted with it when I was done watching.
Reaper's video just made me laugh my ass off,
Yep.
but he's like, the whole thing's based on a fucking finger that someone thinks.
In the ice.
Hail Reaper.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the creative bankruptcy is there, and the news is that They want Berlanti was going to do a Green Lantern show, and it was HBO who wanted them to do the True Detective thing. And Berlanti, of all people, said no. It would have sucked, by the way, if Greg Berlanti wrote it too. But at least he had standards. The CW guy had standards and walked away, and Lindelof said, I'll do it. So they're going ahead with this idea without thinking about like what made True Detective season 1 special, which was all episodes were directed by the same guy. He didn't do very well afterwards, but those episodes are beautifully directed. Matthew McConaughey's best performance in his life, and maybe Woody Harrelson's, an amazing story. And one of the best character arcs I've ever seen in television. And yes, it skips through time, and it's a little bit of, so that's an example of mystery box working. The rare moments that when it works. This one is, we're going to drop random information so the fans can theorize about it. And then we might answer half of those questions by the end of season 8. And when we do, they're probably going to contradict what we set up in the first place. So it's clear that Girl Boss Sheriff knows, I think, knows that Taylor Sheridan villain is an alien of some kind. And there's going to be multiple aliens in this, and it will be an immigration allegory. I think they told on themselves in that interrogation scene. And you also have to keep in mind that Damon Lindelof is going to write from his point of view, which is any invading alien force will be analogous to immigrants. So we can't portray them as bad. So either way, they're going to be misunderstood.
Well,
unless one's a robot, I guess, but which the Manhunters are. So you have to keep that in mind, and it's evident. Like, it's not like they were hiding it in the writing of this episode at all. And the power dynamics. We always have Girl Boss Judge, Girl Boss Sheriff, and Girl Boss Grandma. And I can't wait for Girl Boss Guardian. We have that coming up too. It's gonna be fun.
Yep.
well, it's because Hal already mentioned, like, the galaxy is a mostly peaceful place. It's fiery, but mostly peaceful. I'm told.
And then the Taylor Sheridan, Will Macon, has to remind it that well, then why do you need police? And he doesn't say anything. And Hal Jordan should know that. This is.
Well, that entire scene is contradictory because, he set up a warning alarm for these people, and then the moment someone else does exactly the same thing, goes against it. This is the issue when you start writing from your perspective. So you're supposed to go up with characters that have their own motivations and principles, and then the story should write itself. You just have a situation, and they should naturally go through that situation as they would. Whereas because he wants to put his thing in, suddenly in a scene, you'll have him talking like Damon Lindelof and not the actual character. And that was it. Just because he did... Like, there's no reason this guy should not like militias. He doesn't know why they're there or anything. But... It's the same with the Harry Potter question. That was Damon Lindelof going, well, everyone must know about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
It's terrible.
you're making judgments about Nebraska, but you're judging what you should know from your own perspective as a writer. And it's the same with all the kind of stuff. Like with Watchmen, there was a horrible interview with Watchmen, which starts with Collider, and he's going, well, as a white man interviewing another white man, how can you actually have a conversation about race? And it's like, you didn't even think about that question even now, did you? It was interesting. There was a point about the ending where he was like, well, obviously we wanted to be a surprise, and we couldn't kill John. Now, he doesn't expand about why they couldn't do that. It was just
all know
obviously
why
it's
he couldn't do
assumed. Yeah, but it's interesting that it is... The entire show is written as if all of his opinions are just correct, and everyone else watching the show agrees. And so that's what you're going to have a very one-sided mystery in that regard, just because whatever whatever Lindelof likes is going to be it.
The problem is because I'm 100% believe that Hal's going to return as like the backup version of himself on The Ring and in flashbacks and stuff. So he's still going to be definitely a part of the show. But like, yeah, Jon Stewart is just not a character I want to see lead a show. He's so fucking boring. He's got no personality. The actor's given absolutely nothing to the role. I don't care if this guy succeeds or fails because he's given me no reason to care. There's nothing to him.
Yeah,
What a weird choice of a show. Like, I mean, I know why they chose him, like in the meta, but like in terms of creative abilities, good lord, this guy's a fucking dead horse.
Kyle Chandler's the big star in this, and I think I thought they were going to be banking on him to help carry the weight, but if you're going to kill him off and maybe use him occasionally in flashbacks, like this guy Aaron Pierre is a wet bag. I don't think he's going to do a good job. I think his performance in this first episode just wasn't good enough to keep me entertained. I'll keep watching this just for the hilarity aspect of this. I mean, I know Green Lantern fans out there might be upset about this and what they're probably going to do this character, but I have no vested stake in the Green Lanterns or Lanterns. That wasn't sort of my shtick in DC Comics, but I feel for people out there who are not going to have this character completely ripped out of their hearts, because it's just another idea that comic book adaptivity is dead and is never going to be the same. But we'll see what happens in the next couple episodes, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, yeah. Like, I don't think too many people are going to be watching it. And it does...
Probably not.
Well, it does bring me on to a point I was going to make there about, like, the things that James Gunn announced, like, maybe 3 years ago when he first took over the DCEU at the time, versus what he's actually delivered, and then what we can actually expect going forward. So there's an interesting little graphic here that's probably going to give us a bit more about this. So out of all the things that he's announced so far, the things that have actually been delivered, Superman, we got, fair enough. We got Supergirl. Arguably we shouldn't have, but we got it.
Yep.
We also got Lanterns, or we're getting Lanterns. We're currently in the process of getting it. And we got Creature Commandos, which no one watched. So out of those four, right, Superman barely clawed its way to profitability. It's still debatable at this point. Supergirl, one of the most calamitous failures in DC's history, and that's really saying something. Lanterns, the jury's out on that a little bit, but like most people who have an ounce of common sense are not enjoying it. Creature Commandos, released for free on YouTube, but no one gives a fuck about that. I'm willing to bet there's not a single human on this planet who is an avid fan of the Creature Commandos animated show. We are going to get Clayface, so that's the thing that's happening. As for the other things which are not happening, The Authority, cancelled. Waller, that's been cancelled. Booster Gold, as far as I know, that's not happening. Paradise Lost, that was going to be Wonder Woman without Wonder Woman, so that's cancelled. We've got The Brave and the Bold. Might happen at some point. Maybe, I guess. Jimmy Olsen, that's in the works, supposedly.
Why?
But, yeah, no one gives a fuck. We've got Superman 2, which is going to be Man of Tomorrow. That is going to happen next year, so...
The last hurrah.
Yep. Fond farewell for James Gunn, maybe.
Peacemaker Season 2, that was a disaster. No one wanted that. And Wonder Woman, theoretically, that's kind of still happening, I guess.
No
they
news
haven't
on who's
officially
gonna play it, right?
No news whatsoever. And you know, I never thought I'd say this, but Gal Gadot might actually be a tough act to follow in that regard.
Well,
Maybe.
So how are we feeling about James Gunn's DCU by James Gunn, everyone?
Well, considering the merger, which is delayed, and this was buried in a Variety or Hollywood Reporter article, and I'm paraphrasing here, they said that James Gunn cannot make any extended deals with actors or greenlight any films, anything that is between 30 million and up, right? Which is a big range, without getting the consent of David Ellison. So that might explain why we're getting so many obscure characters, because they can't really commit to anything beyond, you know, like a Jimmy Olsen or somebody who's already been in something, or somebody who's just going to be a low-level character that they can just throw into Man of Tomorrow. Just want to point out that Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner are going to be, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner are going to be in Man of Tomorrow, but Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan is not.
Of course.
Funnily enough, yes.
Doesn't Guy has Hal's ring, right? I think it's the
Wait,
rumor.
yes.
You know,
So.
Superman
But
opened
that was
right with
confirmed
the,
by
Or confirmed,
Sharon.
yeah, sorry, yeah. Not railroad confirmed, yeah.
Superman opened with 300 years of history has already passed for this world with its superheroes. It's like, oh, maybe we could have like started
Never
where
gonna
the
get to
story
see
started.
that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, having a show, it kind of reminded me of Spider-Man a little bit. The Lanterns beginning with, it's like, oh, I want to see this film. And it was like, we're skipping that one. We're giving you something else. And you're like, okay. What about when Hal got the ring? What about when Hal defeated loads of enemies? What about when Hal introduced himself to Earth? What about? Never mind. It's okay.
Let's skip to the more interesting part, shall we? Like, we don't want all that heroism nonsense. That would be ridiculous. It's a waste of
Heroism is
everyone's
toxic,
time,
no.
more.
Wouldn't you like to see when he shit? You're like, oh,
Yeah.
It's not even just that he's awful. We saw in the trailer it's going to be a load of John going, well, I'm clearly better than he was.
Yeah.
I'm going to do way better. I'm going to take all of it. So it's just going to be like rub salt in the wound all the time. And it's going to come across way worse now we know he's dead or dying. Or so this is going to be a guy crapping over a guy's corpse constantly for a series.
I think this is honestly, if you'd said to me, like, you know, you're given all of these IPs like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all this sort of thing, the full DC slate, right? And I was challenged to come up with the worst possible way to launch it. I couldn't do much worse than what James Gunn has done here.
If I could add a caveat, you have to do it in the worst way possible without necessarily letting everyone know that's what you're doing. Then this would be the best.
Yeah, like, okay, let's maintain the facade that we're really trying here to launch it. So we've got a Superman in there, so like it's not completely ridiculous, but like everything else is going to be populated by like, you know, creature commandos and like Peacemaker, stuff that no one gives an absolute fuck about. Lanterns is a B tier at best. Supergirl, again, like the sort of thing that you can only launch if you've got a very strong franchise with like lots of avid fans that are going to back this shit up. Everything else, nonsense, complete nonsense. Clayface is going to be irrelevant. It'll probably make money, but it's not going to change anything. Who would announce a Jimmy Olsen series?
James Gunn.
Someone who's sabotaging
Who the-
DC.
Who the fuck would announce a Jimmy Olsen series? It's like if you put a bunch of people on a desert island, right, and said like you've got to survive, and one guy's just hyper focused on like, right, we've got to get a hot tub set up. It's like while everyone else is trying to build a fire or make shelter or whatever, this guy's like, no, we need a hot tub. That's what this guy. That's what this is. It's a luxury that you cannot afford when you're barely struggling to survive.
You could have understood it. You could have understood it if they'd shown Superman and Jimmy Olsen was like the best character in the movie and everyone loved him and he came out of nowhere. It's like, oh, we'll double down and capitalize on what the audience likes. But that character in Superman was just a joke. The entire point of him was everyone thinks he's attractive when he isn't. That was the beginning and end of his story. I don't know what you're going to build on from there. But the way you make that slate worse is, ironically, you make all of it rather than some of it. Like, if you double down on what you actually intended.
I think this sums
also
up
want-
pretty well.
This is 100% the truth. It's so brutal and so honest.
This might, I mean, the one good thing to come out of this is it'll pretty much end any attempts outside of the MCU for a cinematic universe. Like, they're cooked. No, everybody who's tried one outside of the MCU has failed miserably, and arguably the most successful one isn't even on cinema. It's whether you like it or not, is A Song of Ice and Fire. It's Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Well, the
the most
Conjuring
success-
is probably the next most successful one. It's
Or
just the
The
one no one knows
Conjuring.
even exists because it's just slop, basically.
The most successful properties that DC has aren't even part of James Gunn's DCU. Where you've got like the Batman, you've got Penguin, like super successful shows.
Yep.
Like that little mini universe there is way more popular than the absolute slop that James Gunn is like churning out.
And they're not making a Penguin season 2 because James Gunn doesn't want to, and it's clearly the best thing they've done.
And he
years.
didn't poach
by far,
Lauren
yeah.
LaFranc for anything.
No, they talk about we need female writers. Well, you had one. She
Right there,
wrote a really good show, and like I haven't heard her name for anything.
Nope.
Yep.
It is insane. Like, James Gunn is going to go down as like the worst thing. He's probably been worse for DC than Zack Snyder was, by far.
By
Yeah.
orders of magnitude. Nobody in 10 years is going to be looking back at any of the James Gunn stuff and go, maybe we were too harsh on it, you know. And whether you like Zack Snyder stuff or not, a lot of people, if James Gunn is making Zack Snyder's stuff look good, that's really bad. That's really bad.
Would you put any stock in the idea that he might come back? Because last week on Open Bar we talked about like they're going to be doing a celebration of film at Warner Brothers where they're going to release like the director's cuts of all these different movies. Apparently, the Air cut is going to be one of them.
Oh, really? I want to see the Air cut.
That was.
I'm the only
I
one
want to
here
see
who
the
wants
Air
to see the
cut.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
If nothing
Yeah.
else, then just to like give David Ayer a little bit of like inner peace, like it's
Yeah.
finally out
Let
there.
him rest.
Before I saw Rebel Moons, I was of the opinion that Zack Snyder would probably make a really good Dark Knight Returns. He gets the Frank
Yes.
Miller stuff with 300. I liked his Watchmen quite a bit.
Yeah.
But then I saw Rebel Moon and Army of the Dead, and I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah, but then they're written by Zack Snyder, so like if because I said this before, like if he was given a script written by someone else and just directed it, could
Like
he do
Watchmen.
it? Yeah, exactly.
I could see him coming back and doing a Dark Knight Returns. And I think that's what DC should just adapt some of their seminal graphic novels for a
You
while.
accidentally say DC there.
I almost said DC.
The DCU.
The DCU. I did say that in my Supergirl video, though. I tried to avoid it.
Let me answer a couple of super chats here just before I move on.
What have you seen the Lanterns viewer numbers? Variety posted them 20 minutes ago.
No.
9.3 million in 3 days. Now the Acolyte got 11.1 million in 5 days.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to say that isn't
damn.
hot deep. We got
And Ahsoka got 3 million more than that. So
Before we-
Lanterns is
Damn.
Uh-oh.
Before we move on,
RIP.
not to take over your show, but we got to talk about
No,
that
do it.
interrogation. Smaller's favorite scene.
Well, I mean, you know, what did you think of it, Drinker? Did you like it? I've heard it's the best scene in the show. So
That's what
believe the
Twitter is
episode.
saying.
Yeah.
I love when a character does something with a tiny bit of intelligence and then someone else has to call it out play by play like it was like a football game and you have to describe what's happening to the audience. It's great.
Yeah.
It really enhances the scene for me.
I mean, broadly, I didn't think they did a very good job with it at all. I just kept having more and more
Well, yeah,
questions with like how they thought they were running the scene. Because first of all, I know a lot of people who don't know what the fuck Harry Potter is, unfortunately. So
Yeah.
I do too.
didn't work for me at all. But I got the idea, which is that the aliens are so fucking clever that conventionally, when you're tricking someone as to what you are, you don't know the detailed information that kind of gives you away.
Yeah.
And you know, like the Inglourious Bastard scene, it's like you should. Like you doing that one thing is kind of a giveaway. It comes up a lot, but like no, the aliens they know all the tips and tricks on the specific knowledge. They've got it all. What they don't have is the general knowledge, and for some reason, whenever they're asked about the general knowledge, they can't deliver it in a convincing human way. And I was just like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, how would they be so good at it on the specific information and then completely forget like social key? Like, who says like the controversy regarding Obama relates to his origin of birth?
he was
Well, again-
reading. Like you could
Yeah.
see him look off to the side, and he was.
And that's
Yeah,
the thing.
well, again,
Why would they
it-
not know that that's extremely stupid and it gives you away?
Well, but if for the same reason that Thrawn from Ahsoka is considered to be a smart antagonist, like it's a stupid person's idea of what smart people are like.
All right.
That's the best that they can do in this show.
And you could tell they didn't want to bring up Trump, which would have been the most logical thing to bring up. We were talking, I brought it up. So it's high school football season here, real football, guys. And that's
Fuck you, Gary.
real
We,
football.
we play
Enjoy your
football with
soccer.
our
It was
actual.
nice.
Yeah, do you guys play football with your actual feet? No, you fucking grab it with your
Well,
hands.
we do.
You
kick
guys
his
don't play
handball.
football with your feet too. You guys like lightly graze each other and fall down like you got shot. You know, it's like, yeah, whatever.
but you guys wear armor though.
You don't grasp
Yeah.
the intricacies of the game, Gary.
because they're warriors.
And
They
everybody
cover
dies
armor.
early from head injuries. So So it's late summer at minimum and fall. So we're leading up to the 2016 election. And if it's supposed to take place in our world, you'd think that would be something you bring up, a little controversial at that time.
Yeah.
Who was the one who was making the big stink about Obama's birth certificate? It was Trump.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who was running for president? Who? Yeah.
Yeah, when it was 2016, I 100% thought they were going to bring some of that stuff into it. I feel like maybe that was done in like ADR or whether it was like, reshoots or whatever. I feel like they knew they had to walk that back a little bit and they just toned it down.
What I hate about it though is if any of us were challenged to try and get away with saying even one sentence on a piece of media or an IP that we know nothing about. So say, for example, if you knew nothing about Star Trek, but you read over like most famous in a Wikipedia page, most famous entries and most influential, and then you read it and you go, I believe there is some discussion over the emotional state of Khan Noonien Singh. He was quite wrathful, I believe.
It's literally like fucking IT crowds got like an entire like bit about that, like how to blag your way through talking about football.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh yeah, the problem with Arsenal is they're always trying to walk it in, and it's like he knows fucking nothing about it, but it's like that just works for every situation. Like, yeah, you could easily pass.
It's what annoys me because like I know there are things I don't like 40K, for example. If he said, "What do you think of 40K?" I should be like, I don't know. It's like
it's cool.
Bunch of
or the Emperor.
They make a bunch of shit for. But that's the other thing. You could just be like, I don't know what that is.
Serve and protect. Yeah.
Well, Emperor sounds awesome.
What do you think of fucking Gerald Ford as a president? You'd be like, I don't fucking know.
Wait. Didn't they do this in Band of Brothers, where it's like they need to tell friend from foe, and so like one of the questions is like a baseball related question, and they ask it, and like the other guy's like, I don't fucking watch baseball, you dickhead. Like that's how they get through it, and they realize like, okay, this guy is American. He just knows fuck all about baseball. Like,
as opposed to, of course, yes, the ball of base, a human sport.
Yes,
I know of it. I'm experienced with that.
Sport. Yeah,
and
I
then
didn't mean to ask
veer
you,
off
Gary,
to the side and pretend like you're not reading shit. Like I don't know. People were so impressed with how well that scene broke down. I was like, this is just retarded. It's just so obvious. And then it goes. When he proves it, when he knows for sure he's an alien, he gets fucking mad and starts like aggressively threatening him into exploding, as opposed to being like, "Ah, shit, man, I fucked up. You're not an alien. You're obviously."
The guy. He roughs up the guy who just says, "I'm a human bomb and I can explode with a thought." But thank God for the beeping, Mahler. That was some secondary viewing shit right there. The beeping. I was like, what?
Beeping.
Well, you know what that means, though? That means at some point they didn't surgically just put a bomb into a skeleton, but they intentionally added speakers. Like,
yes,
they have to think about, well, obviously, we need him to beat first.
You gotta warn your victims. Like, come on.
Yeah, without that, what would you do? I meant to ask you, Gary, as well. Like, you've been getting into Warhammer a little bit. A little bit. Reading some of it, yeah. How are you getting on with that?
I am a few chapters in to the first book. I got sidetracked, but I listened to it on my drive. Part of the Horus Heresy. The one is Horus Rising.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
I like it.
It's good, man.
You will enjoy a lot of it. I guarantee that.
Hopefully, it doesn't get destroyed in in due time, but.
I just hope I don't get hopelessly addicted to 40K because, I mean...
You will.
It is hard.
When you see me selling all this stuff and it'll just be 40K stuff.
that is addicting, I will say.
My shelves are starting to fill up with like 40K like Primarchs and stuff. Like they're just so fucking cool. It's the most metal thing you can ever imagine.
It is. I only know like really basic bit shit about the lore right now, and it's awesome. And I'm like, oh, God. Love this. It's like crack.
Yeah,
it's so fucking
fun.
good.
It's fun to paint, collect, disassemble. I mean, I've got two armies. I've got Necrons and Grey Wolves.
Ooh.
I have no hope of painting. My eyesight is so bad.
Half of them,
but I used to play it back when it was like proper lead figurines that you would get. Like they're 3D printed now, so they're like plastic. But back in the day, it was lead. They were actually made out of pure lead, and they weighed a ton, and they were expensive as fuck. But they were pretty fucking cool.
Bring
Yeah,
back
they were
lead
expensive. Yeah,
Stop.
and lead paint. You know, they said
Lead-
it wasn't healthy, but have we gotten smarter since they got rid of lead and lead paint? No.
Bring back
exactly. Yeah,
asbestos.
yeah. It toughens you up, okay?
Yeah.
Let me just answer a couple of super chats before we move on here. Yeah, Flash Gordon, like it. Let's see. Hello, lovely panel. We are lovely, thank you. Did you guys ever see the newest trailer for Slow Horses Season 6? It's incredible how they produce new seasons every year while being consistently good and entertaining. Gary Oldman as Jackson Lamb is the best. Review when? So I've only watched like the first few episodes of Slow Horses. I really liked it. Gary Oldman is superb in it. I like the concept behind it. I just kind of haven't had the time to get into it properly. I don't know if any of you guys have watched it.
Not yet. No, I heard good things though.
It is very, very good. Very well written. I will get into it properly though. This week is the 10th anniversary of Your Name. Kiwi no Nawa, one of the best anime movies ever made, now remastered in 4K. Really worth watching on the big screen, even if you don't like anime. Please go check it out. Well, there you go. Good recommendations for all of us. Let's see, what's the next one here? Where is it? I'm just going to try and go through these. I found the Pirates of the Caribbean Special Edition on a thrift store, and watching through the behind-the-scenes DVD was a blast. They were having so much fun making that movie. Remember
Hell
when
yeah.
movies were fun? I like that. So, if we don't know who spiked the PCP, how can we know it's false?
Because
Yeah,
that's the
more.
story. The fun fact is they never knew who did it. So if I say
It could be that guy, though. And it could be that name.
Wait, well, but I guess if they find him out one day and he is called like Bruce Wibblestein or whatever I said, then yeah, you know what? I retract my statement. I was
Bruce
wrong.
Wibblestein.
Oh god, I want that to be true now. If you could set up a hero movie by matching two villains in a movie, like Scarecrow versus Two-Face to set up Batman, what would you do? Ooh, good question. So anyone in the Rogues Gallery, who would you pick?
Setting up a Batman movie?
So, I mean, it could. I think we could broaden this out to anyone really within like the MCU, the DCU, whichever you want to pick. Like two villains that would then set up the hero.
I would talk the studio out of doing this. I would say, start
No,
with
but
the
if
Batman
you
movie.
if you were in charge of it,
If I was in
You would-
charge,
yeah, like your dream team.
I would talk the studio out of doing it because they would. I mean, they're doing it. They're going to do a Bane
I was gonna say this is what
Deathstroke,
they're basically doing. Yeah.
which isn't a bad team up, to be honest with you. I know Deathstroke's not traditionally a Batman villain, but I think he's a great match for Batman. So I'd throw in Deathstroke and Mr. Freeze. Because I like
Everybody,
Mr. Freeze.
chill. All right, fair enough. My favorite example of the Lanterns writers forgetting their own scenes with the sheriff talking about knowing Hal was a selfish prick when he first swaggered up to her, then 2 scenes before she was the one who approached him.
Well,
That
I think that was like when he arrived 6 hours ago. She
Yeah.
means. What got me about that scene, though, was more that everybody knew that this alien was on the field, and she was scared that he was going to shoot up the place, so she wasn't trying to panic him. And then the moment he ran off, there was no policeman there. No one was ready for him. He ran past police. They hadn't been told about it.
You know how
I
they
would
could
like to
stop
know.
him?
I'd like to know what her plan was actually. In that
There's this thing called a ring that he could have just put a bubble around the guy.
Dude, when I was
Yeah.
watching it, I was like, oh, they're gonna do a thing where he runs around a corner and walks into a green brick wall.
Yes.
They'll do that. They'll do that. They'll do it. And then they
Nope.
just didn't. And I was like, Hal didn't do anything. Cool. I love it. I love it. I love watching him do nothing. Cool.
What are the constructs? We got
Money, a bottle opener.
money, a bottle opener, and we didn't see
lighter,
one.
Sliding
you got a lighter.
Yep.
As well.
Yep.
And bubble
And
wrap
this was
that we
after-
didn't see.
Right.
And this was
Heard
after
about
he
it.
gave a speech about how it was actually really dangerous to summon constructs, and so you have to be incredibly careful when you use it.
You've got to be incredibly careful of the show's budget. basically.
I didn't even. Am I the only one? Maybe this is a personal preference thing, but the whole like brown-green sand that makes constructs, as opposed to, I don't know what I've gotten this from necessarily, because I'm just not huge into Green Lantern, but I have played a few games using it and stuff. But I always expect it more, for lack of a better term, like Tronish. Like it draws a sort of wireframe and then it gets more detailed and then it becomes a thing, as opposed to sand that forms into a construct.
That seems
Gary
like
might
it
have
was
to
just
answer
for
this
the
one.
show, but the construct usually just manifests itself. So it just happens. Now it depends on, I guess it's hard light. Yeah. So yeah, the sand thing would be really difficult to draw in comic books. That would take you forever. That'd be really hard on an artist who's probably already late with stuff. But yeah, like I just follow what the animated DC. It just kind of happens, and we're gonna get constructs. We are, but the sand thing feels like it's just for the show. I could be wrong though, because I haven't read every Green Lantern comic book.
Here's a question. EVS, the throat goat. Said he's loving Lantern so far. Fucking imagine my surprise.
Yeah.
He also loves Supergirl as well. Again, see my previous statement. He'll take the opposite of whatever position you guys take. On a side note, Rainbow the Brute is 6 years late. No refunds.
No refunds. Yeah, he ain't got the money. But I'd ask for one anyway at that point. 6 years. My God.
Yeah.
Is he trying to compete with George?
I maybe. I ordered that book. I did, to my shame.
Yeah, George didn't make like a buy my book and I'll give it to you eventually,
Right.
though.
Yeah. Like
I guess the problem is as well, like
more.
George actually produced good stuff
He
as
did.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's also thousands of pages of writing.
A lot of
So,
content. Yeah.
Yeah. But when I ordered it, I lived in San Francisco. So I've moved twice since then. I think we're on our third presidential administration. Yeah, it's been a minute. 2020.
I mean, at a certain point, you just have to say it's not going to happen. Like, I literally wasted my money on that thing, but yeah. If people were inclined to try and get their money back, good luck to you.
Yeah.
You're well within your rights to do so, I would say, after this amount of time. Dave Filoni's explanation of Yoda's do or do not line reminds me of rambling Grandpa Simpson. So I was wearing an onion on my belt, which was the style at the time.
Yeah, it was terrible. Az did a really good reading on Real BBC of that, but no, it said the way it was titled was Dave Filoni finally explains the meaning of Yoda's do or do not, there is no try, as though all of us were wondering and waiting for Dave Filoni to explain it.
Thank God. 40 years of wondering. Mahler.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was a perplexed little 12-year-old when I saw that. And
It's literally, it's like bringing Grace Randolph in to explain Plato.
so
Sure.
sexist.
Illuminate us, Grace. Like, fucking shower us with your wisdom. I skimmed the episode, only watched the first 20 minutes total, and it was one of the worst things I've seen on any screen in recent years, period. What an absolute travesty. I mean, I could dispute that, but there's no point, really. Like, you're pretty much right on that one. In 2015, the CERN aliens gifted Hollywood scientist the Enshittifier. Feed any beloved franchise into this machine and it will make it better. Compatible with Star Wars, Star Trek, Raiders, Doctor Who, and many, many others. Yes, it's the great enshittification of our culture. Just get on board with it, okay? I mean, like, what's not to like? Everything is shitty now, and it costs more. If Paramount moves here to Tennessee, then they should get Drinker, Mauler, Garrett, and Disparu to take over writing for DC, and I'll do the music. Y'all would have to take over for Taylor Sheridan after he leaves, though. It's all right. I could take over his shows. It's going to involve a lot more female nudity, though.
Yeah.
I think that's,
okay.
That's a price I'm willing to pay in order
Tragic.
to please the audience.
And we did get nude Zoe Saldana in the premiere episode of Lioness, episode 3, for anyone wondering.
I'm not sure I
so-
want that though.
I'm just throwing it out there as an option. I'm not saying it's a necessity,
like-
but it
it's-
happened.
Yeah, it's like when you're on holiday in Italy or something. It's like I'm gonna go to a topless beach, and then like the topless people are all like 50-year-old women.
Old, yeah.
Yeah, and, like they've
Boomer
got skin
beach.
like leather couches, and you're like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
This is not what I signed up for.
Well, this is the problem. So there was that article that came out, the study that Gen Z don't want sex scenes in TV shows anymore. And it's like, yeah, with the people that they've experienced in entertainment, I'm not surprised. When you've got people liking lanterns, of course nobody wants to see that. And there is this thing where it's like, the actresses and everything have now aged up. And so, as we aged up with the entertainment, you'd be like, well, you know, Anne Hathaway's still hot. Yeah, but if you're 20, she's your mum. So obviously you wouldn't be as interested in that. So
I mean, am I
Everything's
crazy?
the
Am
age
I the
appropriate.
only person that never found Anne Hathaway that appealing? Am I
All
nuts?
right. I mean, like,
I don't think she's like a 10 out of 10.
I see her like whenever I think of her, I always think of her in Inception with her fucking crew cut hairstyle and stuff, and just like
You mean Interstellar?
sorry, yeah,
Interstellar,
sorry,
yeah.
apologies, Interstellar. And just like crying and like being really like ugly and pale and like just annoying, and it put me right off her, man. I don't know what to say.
she's
I
attractive.
mean-
I think she's
She is very attractive. But
handsome, handsome, but like
I-
not the kind of attractive that I'm into. We'll say a
Handsome.
handsome woman. Yeah.
That's a handsome woman.
it's
I don't
because
know
you have
about
to
that.
compare her to other people in Hollywood. And Kate Beckinsale used to be a 10, and now
Oh yeah.
many people have gone downhill. So you could end up
But
out
Kate
normally-
Beckinsale used to be a
less
15.
Okay, but Anne
Yeah, but
Hathaway
normally there's
slaughtered
a-
Kate Beckinsale on the aging scale. Holy shit.
That's
get
exactly
old
what I
now.
mean.
Yeah.
Well, she put a bunch of fucking. She's an auton now.
yeah.
But that's the way they
there-
go with
there-
Hollywood.
Yeah, but normally there's an ecosystem to this sort of thing. Like when one actress like ages out and she's too old now, like another hot young one will come up to replace her, and we're not getting that so much now. In fact, I'm going to put a poll out
Occasionally.
there. I want to ask if Anne Hathaway is hot or not, like because I feel like chat needs to answer this one.
Chat
think she's
will
like an 8 out of 10.
overwhelmingly say she's hot. I'm betting
I'd
it
give her
now.
an 8
All right, okay. Anne Hathaway, hot or not?
Well, I've been part of chat, not this chat, because this chat's great, and so is the chat on my channel and everybody's channel here. But I've seen chat say that, like, you know, Sydney Sweeney's mid. I've seen-
You know, that is
Yeah, that's just
quite a
silly.
take.
That is a
That's
take.
a hot take.
That is a take. Well, actually, so what do you guys think about Samara Weaving then?
Hot. A smoke show.
She's what, 34, I think, and I think she's high on the scale there. So
Is that
I
Hugo? Is that Hugo Weaving's daughter?
think, niece?
Niece. Yeah.
Niece.
Emma Frost.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So
I think Indy I can't say her name. I think
Navarrete.
she's hot, you know. I think she'll be a good rogue.
By the way, I'm going to get into that in a second, actually, the casting, but like the Anne Hathaway poll is like 50-50 at the moment.
wow.
It's tight. Like we've had
Damn.
1,000 votes. Okay, it's shifted now. So it's like 59% hot, 41% not. There's a margin of error there, by the way.
We're the Nolan bros. They need to come in and vote
Yeah.
for the greatest female performance in a Nolan film. Not played by somebody who's going to transition.
But people
Someone-
often
someone in
reference
chat
the
just
Batman
said-
scene too with Anne Hathaway when she gets on the motorcycle. You know.
That's her ass, though. Her ass
Yeah.
is doing all the acting there.
Yeah.
That's how do we reconstruct the score from ass, chest, and face? Do we not drink it?
We need the whole
it has to be in-
package, Mahler.
Yeah, it's
ACF
gotta be in the
ratio.
totality. Okay, so guys, don't just think about the ass, okay, in that one scene. Think about her ass, legs, boobs, face.
Yeah.
Comparative to other hot women, right?
Okay, let's throw Margot Robbie in there.
Yeah, Margot Robbie's hot.
She is.
I never got it, man.
Really?
Got it.
Really?
No.
No,
well, now you're gonna
she's-
lose chat.
Yeah, yeah.
It's weird, right? Because I've said this before. Like, intellectually, I know she's beautiful, I can see it. I can look at her face and be like,
She's
yep,
a nerd, man.
She conforms to all the standards of beauty that I would expect. But then I never found myself that attracted to her. Maybe she's too perfect. I don't know.
I mean, I know
made
she's
in
a
the
big
lab.
like Lord of the Rings fan or Tolkien fan. She also loves metal. So like to me, I'm like, that's two big check boxes off. So
Yeah,
I'm already sold there.
There we go.
I think the question's been answered.
That's it.
You're gonna have hard time fighting the allegations.
Yeah, bro ain't beating those allegations.
I don't even like the slutted out Harley Quinn, but she was
Right.
smoking hot in Suicide Squad.
The feet fetish
that
people
scene's been
were-
shared on the internet like a billion times. So I imagine
Yeah.
It's like gold for them.
made an impact, yeah. And then they had the Harley in Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, see her old suit and go, I'm not wearing that.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Terrible ass
Let's
game.
not talk about that. People did mention Jennifer Connelly. That is hot.
Yeah,
Generational hotness.
That's
Yeah,
like
that
an
was-
11 out of 10 right there.
Yep.
Yeah, like
Agreed.
yeah.
Rachel
Margot
Weisz,
Robbie,
She's aged well.
Rachel Weisz.
Yeah. Oh,
Fine,
come on.
I
In the
guess.
Mummy?
But-
Oh,
Yeah.
In the
Let's
Mummy,
yeah,
she was-
but
she was
after
hot.
Jennifer Connelly, I'm sorry, it's just you set the scale too high.
Yeah,
I know Jennifer Connelly's peak. Let's be real.
But isn't
Some
it
people-
interesting? You keep bringing up people who are like 50, and it is the case that Hollywood has not replaced these people. It's the same with the male action heroes and stuff.
Exactly.
Yep.
They do not bring in a new generation of people
Timothy
to replace them
Chalamet.
anymore.
I think that's why.
Can you imagine him
people-
doing Die Hard?
I think that's why people make such a big deal out of someone like Sydney Sweeney, because it's literally the only person in Hollywood right now who is just unabashedly a sex symbol.
Indy Navarrete is doing the same thing. So immediately after
Nah.
the movie came out, no, she is, because immediately after that came out, the first thing she did is a photo shoot where she's on a table licking a knife. Like she is not.
I
does
mean,
not mind playing into
She
the
should
hot
go that
angle.
route though.
She definitely is trying, but she's not quite at that same level yet.
Not yet.
We've seen those videos of her when she was like a YouTuber and she was like doing like PC assembly and stuff and streaming games.
Call of Duty. Yeah.
Funnily enough, she's always wearing a tank top with no bra. Like, okay. Yeah, we fucking get it. Okay, you got to play the cards that you're dealt, I guess.
Jessica Alba,
Sure.
good Paul chat. Jessica Alba, yes.
Yeah.
Jessica Biel.
Selma Hayek.
Jessica Biel too. Yeah.
Jessica Biel was the thinking
Jessica
man's
Biel.
Jessica Alba.
Yeah, I think so too.
We had some good times back in the 2000s, but those times are over now, so let's not think about it too much anymore.
Ava
Maybe
Green, yes.
Some of them will be back. Maybe.
The Anne Hathaway thing is kind of settled down. We've had like 2,000 votes now, and so it's 59% hot, 41% not. So it's split. It is kind of split.
Yeah.
So I'll just say that. It's not conclusive, and I come
This
down
is
on the
purely
side of
scientific. I think you can actually take this one to the bank. It has been solved.
I'll take it to my private bank after the stream is over, but that's something else. Anyway, Gary,
Yeah.
and Disparu to some extent as well. You guys have watched Star Trek, modern
Yes.
Star Trek.
Uh-oh.
The thing that is the blight upon Star Trek aficionados everywhere. Well, Strange New Worlds is literally the only thing that they've still got running right now, and we're kind of just running out the clock on this one until that gets canned as well. But they've got the latest episode out, and it's a puppet episode. Remember Angel? Remember Angel did a whole episode about they got turned into puppets, and it was amazing because that was the kind of wacky, crazy, supernatural show where stuff like that could happen. Well, Star Trek's done it as well.
Yes.
Can I show you a little clip of it?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. Let's show it to you guys. I might have to mute it actually because copyright is definitely a thing.
Pure cinema. So everybody's puppets now because there was a level 5 transporter accident where Scotty wanted to make the furthest transport that's ever been done, and his puppet got caught up in the transporter, and it turned the entire crew except for Spock, who was off on a shuttle, into puppets. And then they do puppet things, and it's not funny, it's not interesting, doesn't really move the plot forward. And this entire season has been, let's make Star Trek Casablanca, let's make Star Trek Dude, Where's My Car, let's make Star Trek with puppets, but they don't make Star Trek. That's been the biggest problem. And underlying the whole thing is they've tried to make Star Trek Buffy.
Yeah.
Including trying to mimic like Whedon speak. And it's fucking awful.
Yeah, because this is what I was alluding to earlier. Like, I feel like the universe of Buffy and Angel, where you're dealing with the supernatural, with all kinds of like demonic entities and stuff, you could probably get away with more than you could within the bounds of something like Star Trek, because it has to be explained scientifically. And if your explanation is my puppet got stuck in the transporter and so it turned everyone else into puppets, I don't think it quite resonates. It doesn't quite wash like this. And all of it just comes down to this feeling of they've just made Star Trek into a joke. Like, if you're referencing Casablanca to the level of of all the gin joints in all the world, you had to walk into this one. That's not homage. That's just straight up ripping it off. That's not smart. That's not funny. That's not clever. That's not entertaining. That's just creative bankruptcy right there. It's like, we're out of ideas. Let's just fucking pilfer someone else's.
Now, for this episode, I like the space.com review because its title is Ludicrous, Nonsensical, and an Affront to Canon. The Puppets episode is an instant classic. So, like, this is awful. I love it. It's like, yeah, you don't actually like Star Trek. Because Star Trek did do episodes where they'd go on the holodeck and they do weird stuff. They do homage to, like, noir kind of movies and things. But the way Star Trek episodes were always done is they had a question, there was something they wanted to explore, and so they would build a situation that explored it. So this would be something about humanity, what is the difference between it and everything else, whereas the point of this is just, isn't puppets funny?
It's funny.
At Star Trek Convention, they had a panel about this, and the actors said that they're responsible for it. They brought it up as a joke. They never intended it to actually happen, and then one day they brought it up season after season, and eventually we're just given a script. As I guess this is an idea that we can do. It'll be funny on our way out the door. And it just seems that the entire point of Star Trek is just, what can we burn down now, as this is our last chance?
Well, it's proof that
all
they want to make is content. They don't really want to think about what makes Star Trek because they can't, because they're not smart enough. Mahler, you like that Angel show, especially that 5th season of Angel, probably one of the greatest seasons of television ever.
It's like my favorite thing of all time. It's certainly season of TV. It's and it comes right after one of the worst in that whole set, where they fucked everything up. And it's a season where they're repairing everything, but also experimenting, but also structuring, like, and figuring out their whole format better than ever. And a puppet episode would be an understatement of what they did there. They didn't just go like, okay, all the characters and plus puppets. It's like the amount of effort that goes into that episode, and picking specifically Angel to turn into a puppet is very much on purpose. He's such a dour, brooding character who wants nothing but to atone for his mistakes and deal with everything. Turning him into a puppet is so paradoxically like absurd and juxtaposed that every scene he's in is hilarious. Everyone reacting to him, trying to talk to him, run the normal day of Wolfram and Hart is hilarious. And then, of course, there's loads of plot-relevant shit that happens throughout it. It's done with spells. It's like there's a broader plot line of trying to save children from a TV show that's actually like sucking the life out of them through devil deals and different things.
Oh, they knew so much about Hollywood that they couldn't say back then.
It's and it's extremely fucking funny. It's one of the best episodes that Angel has, and I think when you show someone for the first time and they see what's happening, they'll be like, "Oh, like this is really, going off the fucking going off the rails here. This could be a jump in the shark sort of thing." But then they just can't stop laughing usually because it's just so well done, and obviously it's a brilliant dialogue, really great character stuff. Everyone gets developed, loads of relationships conclude. You can't skip it. It's like super important. Loads of things happen in that episode. It's kind of like the musical episode for Buffy. Loads of really important shit happens. Because the one after that, if you remember, Gary, is A Hole in the World.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like you need all the shit in Smile Time to understand what happens in the next one.
So the point being is Smile Time wasn't a gimmick. It was actually something that moved one of the greatest seasons of a television forward. And it was gruesome. It was also gruesome. And you're right, Drinker. You can get away with like a demon being able to pull this off, Polo, and what the other puppets were doing. And it was also written by Ben Edlund, who created The Tick. Great writer, with Joss Whedon supervising. But it was a really important episode that Mahler just said you could not skip things. It wasn't just there to be a gimmick. This is just here to be a gimmick, and it's derivative. And we're talking about that was 22 years ago.
20
Smile Time came out.
Smile Time would come out in 2003, so
23 years ago. So yeah, long time ago.
There's a great comment here as well that I wanted to bring up. Transporter incidents used to be deadly, and then came Tuvix. So, yeah, the one that I always jump back to is in Star Trek: The Motion Picture when the transporter goes horribly wrong, and two people are meant to be getting beamed aboard the Enterprise. And the best way I can liken it to is imagine your entire body getting ripped apart at the atomic level in front of everyone. Who's trying to beam you back on board, and the horrifying screams of someone just being torn asunder. That's what can happen when transporters go wrong within the world of Star Trek. It actually is terrifying and horrific on an existential level. And then you get nonsense like this where it's just, they get turned into puppets. Why? Don't fucking know. Just go with it. It's Austin Powers right now. Just have fun. That's the difference in what this is versus what Star Trek used to be. It used to take the whole concept of science fiction seriously. The science was important.
Yep.
Now it's not. And it hasn't been for a long time.
It used to be the
difference.
groundbreaking series. It set the trends, didn't respond to them. And that's why it's even here, because it was so ahead of its time. And now it's just trying to be anything other than Star Trek. And that is just one of the problems with the show. Also, it's written by incompetent people. This is the biggest con in entertainment history. This show has never charted on any level outside of Picard season 3. It's never made Paramount or CBS a penny. Starfleet Academy was watched by an average of between 40 and 50,000 people. Drinker, you get that in the first 15 minutes of a video sometimes.
Yeah.
And they spent millions on this. And this is an expensive show. So they went cheap on Picard season 3. This is an expensive show. It was noticeable that there was no Kurtzman presence at Comic-Con or at this last Star Trek convention. So I'm pretty sure he's gone. If they keep him, that'd be unbelievable, but yet believable. But I doubt he's going to be around. They're just waiting for Strange New Worlds was basically filmed back to back, so they split it up, and the final season's going to be 6 episodes, and then we have one more of Starfleet Academy, which was filmed back to back.
Yeah.
So they can guarantee and Kurtzman was really good at this because the people running Paramount prior to Ellison were freaking idiots.
I mean, can you imagine the kind of insanity that we're going to get in Starfleet Academy season 2?
Oh, it's supposed to be gayer, right, Disparu? It's
I
supposed
hope
to be.
yes.
It's supposed to be care. Yeah.
Sure.
It doubles down on everything essentially. And yeah, they got season 2, filmed it back to back because he probably realized he was going, or there was a chance. So it's like, how can I cram as much stuff in to get as much money out of the company as possible? Now, the interesting paradox about his Star Trek has always been that everyone seems to be desperate to get kids into Star Trek. But I was interested in Star Trek as a kid because of what it was. Whereas now, the more they try and chase the younger audience, they scare off everybody. Because kids will look at this and be like, this isn't for me. What kind of age range are you targeting with a puppet episode? And all the others, Starfleet Academy, meant to pull in kids, didn't see a single one in any of the lines I was in at all. They're all my age or older.
Star Trek
which, like,
succeeded because it kids watched it in syndication. It was one of the most, if not the most watched syndication show in history, and it hit that perfect demo. It was 18 to 45, but there, I was 5 and 6, and I was just watching the monster. When I saw that transporter scene in motion picture, it freaked me out. I was like 8 years old. I was horrifying, right? Because it was written for adults. When you write for kids, it just means dumbing down things, right? And
yeah, like, it's funny, the thing that we all forget, like, writers forget it, or we forget it, like, as you get older, you lose touch with this, but, like, as kids, you're able to, you're able to process media way in advance of what anyone older than you thinks that you can handle. Because you were probably the same, Gary, like, when I watched Star Trek The Wrath of Khan, I think I was 10 years old when I first saw it. And even then, I got what it was going for. Like, I understood what the movie was trying to tell us about getting older and stuff. Like, over and above, just, like, spaceships blasting at each other and all that stuff. That's the thing. Kids can deal with a lot more than you think they can in terms of their media. And it's nice to be able to, like, cater to that and give them a chance to process that kind of thing. But this nonsense, this is just for retards. This is just literally like, isn't a puppet funny?
Like was said with the whole approach being a gimmick, like it was a fucking risk in Angel to do a puppet episode, but they took it very seriously, and it's considered like one of the best episodes by many people. It's one of my favorites, like top 5 sort of thing. And it's kind of adult. Like, Gary, remember the part where the demon puppets are like putting their hands in the back of
back of the human. Yeah, it was gruesome.
Yeah. And Wesley shoots a puppet to death.
Yes,
they balanced the tone in that so hard. And that's the thing. It could have fucked up, but they gave it everything and they committed, sort of thing. But this already feels like, it's like, yeah, but puppets. And that description of what if we did puppets? Puppets. It's just puppets. While like the core of any episode in Angel, they always start out with like, what journey are we putting a character on? It sounds like a meme, but like the puppet episode of Angel is broadly about self-esteem. It's supposed to be about like Angel is dysfunctional because he doesn't believe in himself throughout that whole season a lot. And the puppet episode is supposed to be a big sort of treatise on that. And yeah, no, I mean, me and Gary will get to it in a year's time probably, and we'll talk all about it. But
easily,
I doubt we'll be talking about this episode past this stream ever again. At least I hope.
That's the thing. Star Trek was never just. It wasn't. Oh well, what if Data had a daughter? It was. Well, is Data human? And if Data is human, can he create life? And if he does create life as not a human, is that human? And so it's exploring the boundaries and the peripheries of like where definitions land, kind of thing. Whereas this is just puppet. And it is a case of, your intelligence as a child, or a teenager at least, doesn't really change that much into adulthood. You just learn to apply it better, you gain more experience and wisdom from that. And that's what stories are meant to teach you. And it is a case of, if you write something that's complicated, everyone beneath that can understand that story at their own level, even if they don't grasp all of it. But if you just write it for the lowest common denominator because you think people are stupid, only stupid people will enjoy it. And that's not... Well, I mean, anyway, most of humanity.
Speaking of stupid people, like, I just happened to pause this at a random point in the playthrough, but like, what a diverse lineup of people we've got here. We've got on the left-hand side, we've got a brunette woman, a blonde woman, black. Is that a man? I think it's a baby.
Yes.
Is it? Is there a beard?
Yeah.
No,
So you hate diverse puppets now?
Got a black man, and we got an Asian woman. I'm just Star Trek. It's for everyone.
A
Truly
descendant
is.
of Khan who is making out with Spock.
Ooh,
That probably would have been important information.
I-
in Space
Spicy.
Seed and
Fucking
Rathacon.
hate with this. Like, I could almost understand it if they just went way beyond, like, you know, the original series, the Next Generation, and they just did their own thing, kind of like what Discovery ultimately ended up being. But like when you set it before all of this and say like, well, Spock was actually fucking like a lawnmower or whatever, like, you know, just anything to like get some kind of ownership over it. That's when it becomes really distasteful, because it's like you're just trying to claim the work of other generations of writers, and you've got no right to it whatsoever.
So essentially, this version of Star Trek is like, what if woke just continued for a few hundred years? Where would it end up? And so everything is hyper done that way. They really hate Spock in this series. They do everything they can to undermine him. They will turn other people into full Vulcans just so they can insult him and say he's only half Vulcan. One of my favorite scenes is there's a transporter thing where they have to be transported together. And so rather than just put his hand around her so they can do it, she has to get on his shoulders so that she can be in the dominant position above him and everything. He's always told that his feelings are his strength and he should stop being logical constantly. It is... I've never seen a show hate one character more than this show hates Spock.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
You just got to feel more, okay? And cry more. Like,
I don't know.
that's-
Have you seen Secret Invasion? They hate Nick Fury in that.
Oh no, this is... There was a trans pirate who told him that his feelings was his strength. That was an entire episode.
Yep. And there was a non-binary puppet right there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
now I want to watch it.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Doesn't that bring you in? You guys, let me ask you one more question before we do some super chats. Some of you are fans of Star Wars, or at least you used to be. Like, I don't know how many of you guys are now, but, you know, we live in the world that we do. Hayden Christensen has expressed interest in returning to Star Wars to do another Vader movie after being humiliated in Ahsoka, because I guess that wasn't enough for him. He wants to come back, and so here we have it. He's apparently in the final stages of signing a multi-picture deal with Disney and Lucasfilm to star in the standalone Darth Vader feature film set in the Star Wars universe. Are you guys excited? Tell me.
I mean, are
Can't you sense the excitement of it?
Yeah, try to hold it in,
Are
guys.
they gonna go off of like the Marvel comic that came out in 2017, 2019? Like,
Who even knows? It's Dave
was
Filoni
good,
at
decent.
this point. So.
I'd be
Yeah.
okay with that,
I'm-
but they probably won't.
I was just talking to Mahler about this on this super secret recording we were doing yesterday, and we were discussing like, what does Star Wars have left? I mean, prior to remaking the original trilogy and the prequels, which they're going to do. And I mentioned, and I'm not the only one who's mentioned this. I'm like, I'm surprised they haven't done like a Darth Vader movie of him hunting the remnants of the Jedi. Because, you know, now that we've seen Disney Star Wars, there's a hell of a lot of Jedi running around after Order 66. So he probably had to do some mop up and just do a Darth Vader movie. And I'm surprised they haven't done it.
They seem
honestly.
to know that people like Darth Vader. They'll drop him in almost everything as a fucking cameo. And it's like, why don't you have the rights. Why don't you just make a fucking... No, I'm not advocating. I don't want them to make anything. I'm just saying from their POV, you know?
They thought long and hard, Mahler, before they made The Force Awakens, of ways they could bring him back. Because he is one of the greatest villains in cinematic history.
For sure.
And they thought about it long and hard, and they still couldn't. The only way they could bring him back is if they remake it. My problem, and this is just a personal problem, is I've never been able to see Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker as Darth Vader. I've never been able to work that out of my head after watching the prequels multiple times.
They put him in the suit and then they give him a filter, so you wouldn't even know anyway.
Yeah, but like the Anakin in the prequels didn't act like Darth Vader's a smartass. He's cheeky. I didn't really see that with Anakin, right? So it's hard for me to align those two. For one, But this is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, this is all they have left. You do a Darth Vader movie, it would with Hayden Christensen, it would get Star Wars fans excited. Some, not everybody, but it would at least create a conversation because they don't even have that. They're in full-blown apathy right now. You know, Mando and Grogu just came out. Most of you probably forgot. And my God,
that was a movie?
It was a movie. It was one of the most boring pieces of content I've ever seen.
Spoof movie.
And like they need to get Starfighter's not going to get the fans energized. That Disney paid billions to make billions. This is a cinematic franchise made to sell merchandise, not a streaming franchise. And they have made one movie in 7 years. They need excitement. So Marvel does the one thing they can do. We're going to make a movie. We're going to throw every superhero we can in it. We're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back just to get excitement again because we need people to be excited. What's Star Wars option? I mean, this is kind of it. This is their last one, and I don't even think this movie, because every Star Wars, they want $1 billion at the box office from every Star Wars movie. That's what they want, and I don't think even a Darth Vader movie at this point can get that.
Yeah.
No way.
Options, but they're not going to do anything, right? Like they've just foregone everything that existed from the EU or Legends.
The idea of like a rematch between Obi-Wan and Anakin, they played that out already with the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and it was a fucking disaster, and it was possibly the biggest letdown ever. And so, as Gary was saying, that's probably your last remaining thing that you could play. That was your last cards that you could play, and you fumbled it.
They will definitely play that again. I'd be surprised if that's not in this movie. And to be honest, that was one of my favorite moments of that show, when Darth Vader is hunting him down, follows him to a planet, walks out and goes, "Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?"
Yeah.
Every time.
Well, they've blown like the one tragic story they can tell is have Ahsoka be in a movie. Let's pretend there wasn't a series and they didn't bring her back in Rebels and all that. And he has to kill his Padawan at the end. Tragic end.
Imagine if he did kill her. That'd be pretty
Should
cool.
have happened long
Pretty
ago.
good
No
stuff.
fucking way you could do it now. She's like a god.
Too late. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Space
Super
Jesus.
Ahsoka. Yep.
But with this, like they handled it in the most anticlimactic way possible. And Ewan McGregor has even come out and said, like, yeah, I'd be up for doing it for the next 10 years. Just to
course.
play
He said,
Obi-Wan
basically.
Kenobi. Because like he's like in his 50s now, and he's probably been put out to pasture as an actor, and so he's just like, yeah, I'll do anything at this point. Fuck it, why not?
And in this movie, you could have done like a B plot of Obi-Wan. Now let's pretend the Kenobi show doesn't exist. You could have done a B plot of Kenobi hearing about like Vader hunting down Jedi and not being able to do anything about it, and like his journey of like practically going nuts, not being able to do anything about Darth Vader hunting down Jedi. And you have one, I guess your protagonist would be the one surviving Jedi, and that he dies at the end. But like, I don't even know what you would do now within the confines of Disney Star Wars. What would you even do?
I mean, do you think the Vader movie would actually be dark enough, or do you think they would just kind of be too soft with him just being an actual like formidable force?
If they use the template of the Empire from Andor, it could be really good, but they won't.
They're never going to use that again, and that is the tragic thing, because that show was so fucking good, and we're never going to get anything with that kind of ambition ever again. I actually responded to a fucking comment about Andor just like yesterday, where it was like talking about Cyril Karn, like, oh, I don't get this guy, like, why did they shit on him so consistently and then just give him no like conclusion to his arc? And it's like, fucking Christ, give me a set of crayons here to explain what a character arc is in this show and what they're trying to show you about like how good people can be chewed up by this machine of the Empire. That's the whole point of how it gets made. That's how it gets like, sustained and risen to prominence, because of good people who are manipulated into doing bad things. That show like was light years beyond anything else that Disney have done within the Star Wars universe. but no one watched it, and that's the
No.
sad thing. So we're gonna get slop. We're gonna get slop like Ahsoka and the Obi-Wan show.
Is this also the era of Vader that takes place after Obi-Wan or before Obi-Wan or in between the, episodes 4 or 5? I mean, do they dare bring in Starkiller?
No.
It
Like,
doesn't matter. It's all slop. It's all going to be slop because that's all they're going to take a
be.
risk on now.
Oh, do you think it's gonna be
I
like
don't
the Spider-Man effect, right? Like they're gonna go because of Vader, and that's gonna make a reason for making a lot of money. But who knows what whatever sort of
Well, I
character
guess my
villain
point
not
is
gonna
like
hold water.
they're not going to attempt anything intelligent with it, right? Because they've obviously learned their lessons from Andor. It's like that. Those 2 seasons cost like a shitload of money to make, like insanely expensive. Not that many people watched it. Yeah, it got critical applause, but like, it didn't result in like loads of people subscribing to Disney Plus or anything. So the more cost efficient way of doing things is make slop that just jangles a bunch of keys in front of the audience in a desperate attempt to get them interested. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah, and the specialness of getting Hayden Christensen back. Well, he's been back a bunch now. He's going to be in Ahsoka season 2, so that's kind of worn off.
He looks old in that trailer. I don't know if it was just me, but he looked a bit rough.
He is old now.
How old is he?
I think he's like
40s?
40, 45 or something.
Yeah,
To be fair, Vader looks worse though. So
Yeah.
that's true.
I think what was difficult was when they tried to do in the Obi-Wan show like a flashback to Anakin when he was young, and it was like just Hayden Christensen with no makeup, no like CGI de-aging or anything. It's like, man, he's meant to be like 20 years old or something. Like that is the most shot out, fucked up 20-year-old I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
And I'm Scottish. So I've seen things, man.
Hey, they're filming the Batman 2 in Glasgow.
Glasgow, yeah. That's the only way that you can get Gotham City. Like that's the only place they could find that was scummy enough and horrible enough to be Gotham. It's Glasgow.
It's crazy. We're getting this. That was 5 years ago. 5 years ago.
2022, right?
When they filmed Batgirl.
Batman.
It was 22, right?
I think it was 22.
No, I was gonna say like they filmed Batgirl in Glasgow as well.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Oh,
And they were
So-
trying to get a animated series vibe with that movie. They were trying really hard. We'll never know because we didn't see it.
Yeah, it's lost media, sadly.
Somebody's got a copy. Somebody has a copy. Come on.
leak it.
I mean, my theory is
You're leaking
Do it.
GTA 6. Just leak it. Who cares? At
Yeah.
this point.
my theory is
GTA
that
6.
it's not even like especially bad compared to what we got, but because it was going to come out before the merger, they didn't want you to see what was lined up for the next projects. So if you cancel that, everything else comes out after the merger. You just increase the sale
Should have
price.
done that with the DCU.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that, I think it
And
was
Star Trek.
it was testing mediocre on sort of audience testing. But it was because there was a whole bunch of shit missing from it, and so from what I understand, they understood like very early on there's a bunch of scenes that need to be put in here. There's connective tissue that's missing. If that's in there, you'll get your audience score up to like the 80s easily, and they never got the chance to do it. Sadly, the plug got pulled on it. But like we had Brendan Fraser and we had Keaton coming back as Batman, not just in the Flash, but like in a proper movie that was more in keeping with the tone of Batman. So we'll never get to see that, which is interesting.
Shame.
Yeah.
Damn shame. What could have been?
Yeah.
There's so many other movies they could have just shit canned instead of that one.
Deprived.
Yeah. Tell me something. Are you guys excited for the X-Men coming back to Marvel? Because they're doing it now finally, and they've announced the casting for it. Are you ready?
A little bit.
Oh, no,
That's a weird casting image.
Yeah. Wow.
Supergirl.
Sorry. Yeah, was miles off there. So, in terms of our casting here, we have got Sadie Sink. She's going to play Jean Grey, obviously, because we
Total
saw her
hero.
in. Yeah,
Girl boss hero.
she did nothing wrong apart from everything that she did in that
Technically,
movie.
she didn't kill anybody.
Yep. Didn't see
Sure.
it happen.
We've got Kit Connor as Cyclops. We've got Christopher Abbott as Professor X. God, they're all just fucking children, honestly. Maya Boyd as Storm. We've got Samara Weaving as Emma Frost. We've got Indy Navarrete as Rogue. And last but not least, Adam Driver playing Mr. Sinister, or Magneto, as he's known. So, yeah, why is everyone being played by fucking children in this?
They want to
Probably
get.
because they.
Go on.
I was gonna say. I mean, I think they wanted to set this up as like the next, MCU cycle of let these actors play these characters the next dozen years, so that they can grow into their characters. As most of them, aside from Samara and Adam, are a little bit older. But I mean, everyone else is in their like early 20s, so they can just
Yeah, like
go into their
they're
30s.
not that young. Not all of them, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, Samara's
I mean,
34,
they-
Adam's 40.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Driver's probably the oldest of the bunch. Like, I think he's in his 40s now.
Yeah, I think so. But
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I think just to propel them, set them up, let them hopefully carry the MCU at this point moving forward, because everyone else is either going to, get killed off after Secret Wars or is just too old at that point.
I mean, I hate to be a dampener, but like, I get caught up in the whole, oh yeah, imagine what Adam Driver could do with Mr. Sinister, or what Indy Navarrete could do with Rogue. And it's like, well, nothing's gonna matter if they're still making the movies the same way.
Right. The story.
Like,
yep.
cast is almost irrelevant. Like I don't want to, I like to talk about, like, I think this is quite a statement actually, casting this way. It's interesting to think about, but at the same time, a lot of these actors and actresses, they're all cursed to deal with whatever script they end up with, and that's even if they get a script. I assume you guys saw that Sebastian Stan was saying that he has no idea what Doomsday's about. He
Yep.
was just filming things out of order and just fuck it, whatever, which has been said by Alan Cumming, was said by Benedict Cumberbatch about MOM. So that's just how they do things. It's like, yeah, no wonder their stories
Well,
fucking suck.
I guess what I'd say is, like, when you compare this to, say, the first X-Men movie back in the early 2000s, like, you had a mixture of, like, very experienced thespians, like, Patrick Stewart and
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, then you had up-and-coming actors like Hugh Jackman. Yes,
Famke
exactly.
Janssen,
Famke Janssen was pretty well established by that point, but yeah, Halle Berry
True.
as well. Like,
Anna
but,
Paquin.
James Marsden, right? Was he well known at that point?
James,
I don't think so.
Marston.
he's
Yeah, Marsden, James
I'd have
Marsden.
to remember his career at that point, but I think he was,
He was known. I don't know
Yeah.
about well known.
Right.
I guess the point I'm making is, like, you had an interesting mixture of, like, very established actors, like, with a strong pedigree, able to support, like, the younger ones who were up and coming, and then there was people in the middle who were, like, known but, like, not, like, super famous or anything. But with this casting, it's like, it's a bunch of good-looking people that, like, haven't really done much. And so, I don't know, it's hard to escape the feeling like this is just laying the groundwork for a future franchise. It's not like casting the best people that we've got in the here and now. It's more like, future potential, franchise potential, all of the usual stuff you'd expect from Marvel. Like, how can we just milk this forever? And it's
See,
like...
I actually think this is what Hollywood needs, because they haven't been raising the next generation of actors. There are no young actors or there's like people in their 30s with huge careers that don't particularly exist, because they were now into people in their 50s that have just not left at any point. They haven't aged out like they needed to, so that other people could take those roles. This is also a side effect of less production. So before, there would have been productions where the big names just couldn't do everything. But one of the reasons you can have like Zendaya in everything is because she has enough hours in the day to do all the big movies, because there's so few big movies now available. And so the only thing you're going to do is just bite the bullet, and at some point you're going to have to cast relatively unknown people so that they can become known and just filter through that way. And it's going to be tough with less productions overall to actually do it.
Like Game of Thrones, too, you know.
I mean, Indy Navarrete definitely is well known at this point. So well done to her, I guess. Like, that was a pretty logical career progression.
Yeah.
She did a thing recently where apparently she's been turning down things in the millions of various different things. Like, she's had loads of roles thrown at her.
I bet.
And she chose this out of all of them.
It's probably an easy payday, and like it's a shitload of exposure.
Very much.
Career-wise, it's probably going to be okay for her.
I think she obviously she's attractive. I don't think her appearance is going to be an issue. I know some people are going to be like, well, are they going to do like, you know, comic and X-Men cartoon rear end accurate Rogue perhaps? But I think again, it's not hard for actors to get into shape. They've got plenty of time to prepare. So she needs to work the part physical wise.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be an issue, right? I mean, what's the guy's name who's playing Cyclops? Kit, I think. Right?
Yeah. Let me see. So
dude's actually pretty jacked already. Like he's got some some
Kit Connor.
Yeah, Kit Connor. Like, so I think he'll probably look the part for Cyclops. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but acting wise, story wise, again, completely different story. I think the biggest thing for Rogue for Indy is the accent. And I did see a video, I think it was yesterday, from Lenore Zahn, who was talking about meeting her in person. So, I mean, obviously, what better person to really help train her in that voice that is just, you know, well known for Rogue than Lenore to kind of help Indy fully portray the Rogue that we all know and like.
I mean, yeah. Sadie Sink is Jean Grey. Well, we've already talked about her within Spider-Man. So yeah,
off to a great start.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not her fault as an actress, obviously. Like,
No.
she can only work within the script that she's given. But like, yeah, it's
Well,
not
and that's
great.
what we got to be concerned about.
What if she's a clone from Sinister, though, and it wasn't her in Spider-Man Bland?
What if she's a Skrull who's a clone from Sinister, who's a clone of a Skrull?
It's Madeline
Yeah,
there already.
let's go with that. Let's go with that.
The problem is the casting's pretty good, but this is going to be directed by the guy who did Thunderbolts, and it's the writing that I would be concerned with. Good casting though, so far. I'm fine with it. I think it's smart to go young, and then you won't have egos. I mean, that if it's successful, you'll still have to deal with that, because that's been one of the biggest problems with Doomsday is egos on the set. And this is why you should have recast Cap and Hulk and Thor and Iron Man a long time ago. Maybe some of them won't be as good as their the previous actors, but the character's always bigger than the actor. Like the worst news is like Cap's not going to get recast. Like Sam Wilson's going to stay Cap.
Sadly.
You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's the problem. So I think it's smart. It's just the thing that isn't smart is you took, what is his name? Mueller? Shackman?
Matt Shackman, yeah.
Shake Shack, whatever his name is.
But the Twitter pretended for 5 seconds that they were all obsessed with his work and thought he was amazing when Fantastic Four was coming out.
Like
Well,
Thunderbolts
Thunderbolts,
was the new era of Marvel, and this is it. And oh, we're gonna sign him to an X-Men movie, and oh shit, it flopped. And yeah. So that's where I have a problem. Like cast looks fine. They're gonna have to overcome probably some piss poor writing and some very pedestrian directing at best. And I'm being nice.
Shackman was Fantastic Four. You're thinking of Schreier, right? Or
Schreier, yeah, Shackman,
Jake
Schreier.
Schreier,
Close enough.
Yeah.
As the industry likes to say, mediocre white dude directing.
Let me,
Good thing about
Remember when
Thunderbolts-
Kenneth Branagh fucking directed a Marvel movie?
I remember.
Yeah.
He did it twice, didn't he?
No, he
once.
did-
Dark World as well.
No.
once. They didn't even call him back for Alan. Is
Oh.
it Alan Taylor who did Dark World?
Dark
right.
World, yeah, that was Alan Taylor. And then,
Game of Thrones director.
but I mean, phase one, you could tell that they were forced back then to be like, we actually have to find people who can make movies, who can
Yep.
write scripts, who can direct people, people who can act. We have to do that. These days, they're like, well, we'll do that someday. Like, we'll worry about
But
that.
it's like let's find indie directors that we can feed into the machine, and they're just gonna be so happy to get a payday. They're not gonna question it, like,
And they'll do
just like
whatever
that.
they're told, right?
Yeah.
And they'll be good little cogs in the machine, and then we don't get anything. Like, God, the only like, I'm trying to think of a great directing job we have seen since Civil War
In the MCU,
in the MCU. Infinity War, maybe, but
Yeah, I'd say maybe Infinity War, but
Yeah.
since then it's all been downhill.
Infinity War
Or
definitely
any-
was less ugly than Endgame for sure. Like Endgame was so ugly.
Spider-Man movies, so Far From Home, No Way Home.
No Way Home is like 50% absolute slop shit, and then 50% like, whoa, that shot
Yeah.
looks great. What the fuck? I'm not even
Yeah.
sure. I think it's because of the COVID movie that explains that. Multiverse of Madness, isn't it, they shot it. Raimi got to do some Raimi stuff in that every once in a while.
Oh
bit.
god, it's so weird. It's like there's tiny little glimmers of Raimi in
Yeah.
that, buried beneath this mountain of bullshit. It's such a weird movie.
he's too nice of a guy. He got pushed around on that one. He got pushed around on Spider-Man 3 too. And I would love for somebody to just leave him alone and let
Yeah,
him
let him do
do
what he wants.
Spider-Man 4.
Well,
Yeah.
I wish.
Gary, did you go and check out that? What was it called? Send Help or something like that? The new one from him.
Yeah,
No.
Send help. Isn't it like a girl boss extravaganza?
I haven't seen it, but that's his movie through and through, right?
Yep. And I didn't want to not like Sam Raimi, so I'm like, I'm not going to go. I'm going to skip this one.
I watched Despot's review of it and it was scathing.
Yep.
And I believe he's correct in his assessment of that film. I think it's just like evil, arrogant corporate dude bro has to like learn that girl is better than him at everything. That's literally the premise of the movie. So if you're into that, great, but fuck it just seems sad. That's what he's resorted to. Let me do a couple of supers here. I don't know if this makes any sense, but hearing Nolan say that heroic figures are expected to apologize made me think that Hollywood hates veterans. Yes, I saw that interview. Like, good God, that is... I don't know what he was going for there, but in terms of sound bites that could be misinterpreted, holy fuck, that's
And
pretty bad.
I don't think there's any misinterpreting. Disbrew brought it up on we covered it on Friday Night Tights, and then he did a brilliant video on it. I don't think there's any misinterpretation at all.
Yeah, he believes in equality and heroes are better than everyone else, so you have to apologize for being better than other people.
Does he believe in equity? That's the
Equality.
question.
Well, equality means everyone's the same. And he even said the philosophical principle, the more enlightened time, from a more democratic point of view, is society is better if they're equal. Well, that means you have to be ashamed to be better than somebody.
I don't care what the director's plot, and I know you guys don't. And I liked it when Nolan was a mystery. I liked it when we didn't know. All he did was direct movies, and none of his personal stuff like bled through like it did in Odyssey. But it's pretty clear now, especially through that interview. Which what Disbury, you were right. That the interviewer was great.
Yes.
That's what all of Hollywood should be. Not like, is this the gayest Odyssey ever? It was a good, sure, it was by a commie, but it was a good interview. And she got a lot out of him. And it's disappointing.
And for the record, it was the gayest Odyssey in history. So
It
not bad.
was.
Possibly it was,
True
yeah.
that.
The interesting thing about her coming from an entirely opposite culture is she doesn't have the same sort of cultural sensitive points that she can't step on that interviewers over here never would. So she would just ask him bluntly, because to her, there was nothing wrong with it. And every time now I see other interviews like with Rings of Power and everything, it just the low quality of it, getting people on Rings of Power to say my precious and different styles and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's more insufferable when you know what other people do.
Lanterns is a show by people who hate superheroes and are ashamed of Green Lantern.